some stretching. We're going to use a hamstring as an example. So imagine this string of elastics is my hamstring. The hamstring is the muscle that goes along the back of your thigh. So if you're someone that you find yourself doing hamstring stretches all the time, maybe every day, and yet you still always feel like you have tight hamstrings, well, then that stretch is not working for you. And why might that be? So if you look at this chain of elastics, think of this from top to bottom as a hamstring muscle. Our muscles are made up of several different fibers. It's not one piece of meat, it's several strands of meat, if you will. Oftentimes, it's not the whole entire muscle that's tight, but it can be one section or certain fibers of the muscle that are not gliding and sliding well. And when they're not gliding and sliding well, we experience that as a sensation of tightness or tension in our body or limitation in our body. So if you look at this chain, you'll notice that all of the elastics are the same except for this one blue one. So imagine this one blue one represents the part of your hamstring muscle that's not sliding and gliding well. The rest of it is sliding and gliding well. So now if I go to put my hamstring on a stretch, watch that blue elastic. Notice how all the other elastics got a stretch. I'm going to come closer, but watch the blue one. The blue one almost doesn't change at all. And that's what happens in our body. When you go to do a global passive stretch on a muscle that has some limitation, some lack of glide and slide in one part of it, what ends up happening is you're going to stretch the parts that already move well, and the parts that don't move well don't get targeted. And that's part of why, it's one reason why, there are other reasons as well, but it's one reason why you might find yourself always stretching the same area but never achieving any results. So what are the solutions? You can use some sort of massaging tool. Personally, I like balls. And you have two options with the balls, well, many options with the balls, but I'll just talk about two today. You can use a ball that has a little bit of give to it, which is always a good first start, because although we have that instinct of wanting something to dig in deep, sometimes that's too much for the nervous system. And when the nervous system perceives what you're doing as threatening, it's going to actually tighten up the very thing that you're trying to release. So be kind to yourself and start a little bit more gentle with something that has some give to it and see if that works. If it does not give you the desired result and you really feel, no, I need to go deeper, then you can turn to something like this where it's a firmer ball that has some spikes on it. Place the ball on the part of the hamstring that is not gliding and sliding. Seated like this is nice because you've got the weight of the thigh resting on the ball. And then you actively lengthen the leg while the ball is there. So what happens is that the ball is going to pin the part of the muscle that's not sliding and gliding well, and then it's going to slide and glide the rest of it in relation to that part. And that's a really nice way of reestablishing some slide and glide there. And then of course you can move the ball onto different parts if you find that there are different parts that are not moving. So imagine again that this is my hamstring and the blue elastic is the part of the hamstring that's not gliding well. You got two options. You can place the ball on that part that's not moving well, and you can roll it up and down along the length of the muscle, so parallel to the direction of the fibers of the muscle itself. That's one way. Or you can go on that same area and roll the ball perpendicular to the fibers of the muscle you're trying to target. Both are good. On another post we'll talk about how to use which one a little bit more specifically, but for now that's a good introduction to it. And then once you've gotten some glide and slide back in that part of the muscle, then you can eventually go back to your passive stretching of the whole thing and see, am I getting that sensation of stretch throughout the whole length, or am I only feeling it in certain areas? Am I missing the area that I'm actually trying to target? So give that a try. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear in the comments.